Okay, perfect. So first of all, thank you for agreeing to this. I just thought that it would be a good idea to show it to our heroes, how far you can get
Yeah.
with massage and just to inspire them. Because I think like your career that you started out as a massage therapist and then now you own your own school, Elemental Massage School, that is amazing. And you've been teaching a lot of other therapists. So I would just have a couple of questions, just to to show it to other therapists out there, how they can progress, where they can progress, what they can do within massage, and why is it important to always keep learning. So first of all, I would just like to ask, how did you become a massage therapist? What is your background in massage?
Uh, so firstly, thank you for having me. I feel really honored that you find my journey inspiring. So thank you for sharing this. My background, so I graduated from biotechnology, so nothing to do with massage, or you could say it's in the kind of wellness, well-being industry, but nothing to do with the art of massage. And initially, when I was studying at university, I wanted to have like a bit of an income on the side. So, because I've always kind of been in touch with massage, mainly through family, like in our culture, in our tradition, we do massage our parents. So, ever since I can remember, I was massaging my mom. She suffered from migraines. So, I was quite interested already in that kind of therapy. So I studied massage when I was at uni, and just started to do that as a part-time job so that I can, get a little bit of income on the side. So that's kind of my first encounter with massage therapy. It didn't last for long, unfortunately. It was only, yeah, maybe less than a year that I did it for because then I got really busy with studies. So I didn't have much time. Um, and then from there, I graduated, and then relocated to the UK in 2007. Went and did various other jobs. So I can't really say that I've got a background because I've done various jobs. But my very last one was in banking. I was a mortgage consultant, and I was getting really frustrated and really fed up with a 9 to 5 because it was never a 9 to 5, I was getting home and I had to do some work on my laptop, and I wanted to reinvent myself basically. And you know what they say, you always go back to your first love. That's what I did. So yeah, that's how I ended up, coming back to massage. But yeah, it is not my initial background, so to speak.
I love that, especially the part that when you were little, you were already giving massages
Yeah.
to your parents, so you were practicing on them. Then do you remember your first course and what did you feel during that course? Because obviously you were already attracted to massage, but obviously it's very different when you actually start learning about
Yeah.
the body, what techniques you can use, what you can achieve with those techniques. So do you remember that feeling, what you had during the course? And if yes, then what was it?
Yes, and I'm gonna speak about my first course of massage here in England rather than the one I took at home because I've been out of the industry already for nearly 17 years. So I had to go back and retrain. And we'll touch base on that, maybe later on as to why it was necessary for me to, even though I was qualified. But yeah, my first course here in the UK, I can say that it was a mix of excitement because, it was something that I wanted to do, so I was excited. But I'm not gonna lie, it was quite daunting, and I had a slight apprehension as well. Um, because I was stepping back into something that I've been out of touch for nearly 17 years. So yeah, it was a mix of emotions, but More excitement, I would say, more excitement. And when I started the course, it kind of reminded me why I want to do this, and it reminded me about the power of touch. And yeah, that slight apprehension that I had at the beginning, it kind of disappeared very quickly after that.
What was the first course that you took here? And also, just to clarify, you're from Romania, right? So you did
I
your
am, yes,
original
originally from
qualification from
Romania.
there. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So what was the first course that you take here in the UK?
So I kind of had to follow, the path that every single, brand new therapist will have to do here in the UK. So I went and did a level 3 in Swedish massage, and that's how I started. Yeah, that was my very first course. Yeah.
And then how many courses, what kind of courses did you do afterwards?
Oh gosh, good question. Loads, loads of courses. I was doing this, bear in mind, I was doing this on a part-time basis because I still had my banking job. So I was doing this on the side whenever I had some time off or day off or during the weekend. I was very hungry at the beginning, hungry for learning, for, absorbing as much as I can because I really wanted to give it like a good try. If I was going to leave my banking job at some point, I needed to make sure that I am, first of all, capable of doing this, capable of growing my business. And the only way that I could have done that is by learning and by gaining loads of new skills. And, I always think about massage like having this toolbox. And in this toolbox, you have so many skills and, techniques that you can take out whenever you need. So I needed to have this toolbox to start with. And that's why I really needed to do many courses in a very short amount of time because I wanted to be 100% positive that I can do this, or maybe I can't and I have to stay in the banking job. So yeah, very often, sometimes even once or twice a week, I was on courses. And yeah, in general, I'm just hungry, and I want, I love self-development and growth.
And how did you select between the courses? So was there any criteria on like where to go, what subject, what new technique you should
Mm.
learn, or you were just like anything that comes in my way, I'm going to do all of those courses?
Yeah, no, there was definitely a criteria, and I think for me, my first kind of motivated factor was my clients. So the courses that I was selecting were client driven to a certain extent. At the same time as I was learning and doing all these new courses, I was also seeing clients on the side. And whenever a client was mentioning something, it could be that they've been to another therapist and they've received this, modality, and I wasn't doing it yet. For me, that was okay, I'm gonna go and do this. I don't want my client to go somewhere else. I want them to come to me. So I need to learn this if that's something that they wish to receive. So that was my number one kind of criteria. It was always client driven. You learn so much from clients, honestly. And that's why even now, I run my own school, but I still see clients because that's how I self-develop in this, fast changing industry. Um, then another criteria was, of course, the course content. I was doing quite a lot of research, and the course content needed to kind of be pertinent to my area of interest. So sometimes you go onto course description, and even though the title says something, when you go into like the nitty gritty and you read about it, it actually doesn't cover as much as you would expect. So that was also something that I was doing, loads of research. Of course, previous student feedback was really important as well. So as much as I could, I was going through the feedback, reading. The school credibility was also a very important criteria for me, the tutor as well that was teaching the course. So I was doing quite a bit of research before I would sign up for a course. And then, of course, which I think everyone kind of relies on this, is the budget. The budget had to, the course fee had to kind of fit within my budget, especially when you're just starting out, you're not earning much, you have a limited budget for learning. So that was very important. And time as well. Time is time is money nowadays.
Yeah.
So if you are going to take the time out of your schedule, you need to make sure it's worth it. So, yeah, those were kind of my criterias that I was kind of going through a tick box exercise before I would sign up for a course.
That all makes sense. And what do you think, what makes a good teacher? What are the traits of a good teacher? Or like if you think back to your previous courses,
Mm-hmm.
why did you say about someone that he or she was a good teacher?
I think it's important for a teacher, in order to teach, to actually walk the path of the therapist as well. Because, I've come across teachers that haven't actually been therapists themselves, and you can't really speak to a therapist from your own personal experience. And I think people in general relate to you as a person before they buy into your course. So if you're not really able to share from your own, perspective, from your own experiencing, um, I think people don't resonate with you. You might be good as a teacher, as in your teaching kind of modalities, but when you add in the personal touch, it makes the teaching so much more valuable to the students. So yeah, I think this is what I was looking at when I was looking for teachers.
I see. That's so weird to hear that there are teachers out there who don't
Mm,
really do, they just teach. It's
yeah.
it's quite difficult to imagine, to be honest. Um, But yeah, how did you move away from your job in banking? Was it like gradually that you started doing massage on the side, or just one day you quit the job and then you started doing massage as a full-time therapist?
No, it was gradual. It was gradual, and I think I did the massage therapy alongside the banking for about 6 months. I gave myself 6 months to see whether it's gonna work, whether it's gonna become sustainable. I was realistic in terms of setting goals. I didn't expect it to be profitable in the first 12 months, but at least sustainable. So it happened gradually. So yeah, I did do it for about 6 months alongside the business, the banking job. And yeah, then I kind of decided to take that leap of faith, which was very scary because, being in a banking job is quite secure financially. You have many benefits, and to leave that behind and jump into the unknown, I've never had my own business before. I haven't studied business management. So for me to do that, it was quite scary, but I did take that risk. And, looking back, it was all worth it. I don't regret it for a second. It definitely gave me so much more personal, but also professional satisfaction as well.
I see. And then, so you started doing massage full time. What
Mhm.
did you decide to teach, or why did you decide to
Yeah.
teach? Where did that idea come from?
So, tell you a funny story. My mom was a teacher. And when I was at uni, we've been offered this opportunity to study teaching for 1 year as an optional module. And I never wanted to go for it. And my mom kept, saying to me, you should go for it. You never know. And I was like, Mom, I'm never going to teach. Like, I don't like teaching. Um, and always listen to your mom. I did go for it in the end, so I've done it just to kind of please my mom, not because it was something that I saw myself doing in the future. But coming into teaching happened actually after I did my first massage championship. That was back in 2018, when I participated in the UK National Massage Championship. and I won in both categories that I participated. So I did the freestyle and the spine wellness, and I came first on both categories. And after competing, I've had so many therapists approaching me asking if I teach. And I was like, no, but I could be. So again, it was, like I said to you with my massage when I was going for new courses, it was client driven. In this case, was kind of therapist driven. There was an interest in what I was doing, so that gave me, the courage to pursue the teaching kind of pathway. So because I was already qualified in teaching, of course, I started to teach private workshops straight away. But to kind of go on the bigger scale, again, I needed to refresh my knowledge. So I went and did a teaching diploma here in the UK. And then that's when I started to teach at a larger scale. You may be aware that I was teaching for Gateway for just over 3 years, and it was an incredible journey. You know, so incredible that led me to, leave Gateway and pursue my own uh, pathway. So I set up my own school, and I'm now, teaching on my own, which has been an incredible journey and rewarding as well.
Do you have an approximate number? How many therapists have you trained in the past, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years at this point?
It is in the thousands. I don't have an approximate number, but it's definitely in the thousands. Yeah, because I also teach online, so I have online courses that student can, sign up from wherever they are in the world, not just the UK. So yeah, it's definitely in the thousands.
That's an incredible number. Just going back a little bit to the massage championship.
Hmm.
Obviously, all of those therapists who enter into such championship, they are amazing. But what do you think? Like, how did you stand out from the crowd, or why did you win? What was like so special or different of your technique or of your massage that you won in both of those categories that you entered into?
Um, I don't necessarily think it was in anything that I did as in massage techniques. I think everyone that competes, and not just those that compete actually, all massage therapists are unique in their approach, in the way they massage their clients. Um, for me, I think it was the shift of mindset. Prior to that, I did the World Massage Championship in Copenhagen, where I came fourth. And I was pretty much when I went there, I went, I need to win. Like, I want to win a medal. And that was my expectation from that championship. And when I didn't win that medal, when I didn't, stand on that pedestal with a medal around my neck, I was really disappointed and really upset. However, coming back from that and reflecting on what went well and what went wrong, I realized that it was my mindset. I realized that by going there, I was already a winner. And, really the mindset should be coming there to, first of all, to push yourself outside your comfort box, because by exposing yourself, okay, some people are naturals, but I would say 90% of people to do something like that, it will take courage and it will take pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Um, so yeah, to do that, you're already a winner, but the mindset should really be come and have fun, come and learn from the others, come and engage, network with your fellow therapists, but also with the judges, because at the end of the day, they are your mentors, right? So you can learn so much from them. And this is what I did different in the NMC championship. You know, my presentation in the NMC wasn't much different to what I did in Copenhagen. But the mindset was different. So I think that for me was what kind of brought me to the first place, if I'm honest.
Okay, that sounds,
Of course,
yeah.
it will require preparation. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that, you don't have to prepare. You do have to prepare. You do have to be a little bit innovative. So like innovation and research as well. Like if you bring something that we haven't seen before, of course, that's going to be a wow factor for the judges. But at the same time as being a wow factor, it also needs to prove the physical benefits. Because if you're doing something just to wow, but there is no benefits to the client, then we don't appreciate that. So yeah, you do have to do your research and your preparation before you come to such events for sure.
Okay, that makes sense. And what do you think? Why is it important for all of the massage therapists to like continuously develop their skills to learn new things?
Um, well, first of all, it allows them to stay updated with, the industry trends. As we know, and as I've mentioned before, our industry, and this is what I love about it, you never get bored because there's always something new coming up. And if you are in your own bubble, which, can happen because as a self-employed therapist, you are kind of working on your own, and you kind of stay in your own bubble. So going to new courses and learning and updating yourself, you're not only obviously learning new skills and new modalities, but you're also keeping up to date with the industry trends. You're networking, which again for me is crucial in this industry. You're learning from each other. You sometimes you come across opportunities just by networking with others. I've had so many incidents where students come to my courses and one of them say, "Hey, my clinic is looking for a therapist. If you're interested." And there you go. There's an opportunity for you. Or, they decide to do swaps together because they live in the same area. So again, they benefit from, having well-being days for themselves as well as networking with others. So it's really important, but also I think the main reason why they should continuously develop is for client satisfaction because it's going to give them that confidence. And when you continuously develop yourself and your skills and your knowledge, you can then become client-centered. You can then personalize their treatment rather than just being general. You can say, okay, I have this toolbox, and I have this client that has X, Y, and Z needs. I can take out from my toolbox and I can personalize their treatment. Whereas if you don't go and continuously develop, you won't be able to have that toolbox. So your client satisfaction might not necessarily be the same. The client outcomes might not be the same. So for me, number one is client satisfaction, personalizing their treatments, and then networking, becoming more confident as well in what they do.
Based on what you mentioned now, I would have had a question, but I think you just answered that basically that you have these
Mm,
workshops in your
mm,
school. But then basically you answered that you probably organize these so people can meet, they can learn from each other, they
mm.
can network. So yeah, the other
But I
question.
would I would also add on to that with the workshops. So I have open days, and sometimes they are specific on certain modalities. So for example, let's say open day for deep tissue, right? So everything that I've mentioned as well, but the added benefit of attending this kind of open days is that they are getting feedback. Hands-on therapy and immediate feedback, I think is really important because, and again, it happens. I've had students attending that they have previously studied deep tissue, but they're not very confident. So by coming to this kind of workshops, they get immediate feedback from me and they know what to improve in. I've also had students that have done deep tissue for a long time, but they've developed certain habits which are not necessarily good. So by getting that constructive feedback from me, again, they know what to improve, and it's mainly to do with posture, mainly to do with body mechanics. I've had students saying, well, but I've done this for such a long time. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to look at it from a different perspective, right? So yeah, I think it's important to receive that feedback immediately and, improve what you need to improve, or maybe change some of the old habits, patterns that perhaps are not necessarily helpful. And developing their confidence as well. Again, I've had students saying, "Oh, I'm doing deep tissue and these clients are like asking for more and more pressure, but I'm afraid that I'm going to break something, or I'm afraid to put more pressure." So, I'm there to reassure, well, if you do it this way, there's no reason for you to be afraid because you are doing it safely. So yeah, I think they're beneficial.
Yeah, about what just mentioned, you mentioned, I think some of our therapists have the same issues, so definitely I could recommend these
Mm,
workshops to them. And what you mentioned already a couple of times is about like trends in the industry, and that it's a fast changing industry. So at the moment in October 2023, like what are the trends? What are the trendiest massage treatments or approaches to massage? What do you see?
I would have to go by manual lymphatic drainage for sure. I think, judging by the demand that I have on my courses, so the Brazilian lymphatic drainage and the body sculpting is definitely popular, both in me teaching the course, but also demand from clients. Deep tissue remains. I think deep tissue is always going to be a popular trend. Pregnancy as well. Pregnancy is picking up for some reason. I don't know. Winter's coming. Maybe we have more babies on the way. But yeah, I can see a definite increase in demand for pregnancy massage course. And I think in general, more people are turning to this holistic approach. So I think I can see this becoming the new trend very soon, maybe in the next year or so. Sort of like an emotional massage, or like a well-being reset, something that will have both massage as well as some sort of energy healing, perhaps. Just kind of a mix, again, coming back to that toolbox, a mix of modalities to offer the client like a well-being reset. Because, my personal approach to massage, it's not focused on the physical aspects. My approach is to the holistic. And sometimes, the physical symptoms that we experience, they don't necessarily lie in physical, aspects of the massage. They do go a little bit beyond that into the emotional. So I think a kind of well-being reset massage, it's definitely something that's coming.
I see. Now that you were talking about the different treatments, I'm just curious, if you go for a massage, what treatment do you
Mm.
usually opt into?
Look, I'm grateful for any treatments, if I'm honest, but I do tend to mix and match. So I try and get one at least once a week or once in every 2 weeks. Last week I had a face remodeling, for example. Um, I do go for lymphatic drainage at least once a month. I like Thai massage, so I also get Thai massages, and Lomi Lomi is one of my absolute favorite treatments to receive, to give, and to teach. So yeah, if I was to choose, these are kind of my go-to massages.
What is so special about Lomi Lomi massage for you that you love getting it, you love teaching it, you love doing it?
Again, it goes back to that healing aspect. It's not just body work. With Lomi, we do quite a lot of healing, going deeper to those emotional levels. So although on surface it looks like we're doing body work, we are doing a lot more than that. So I love teaching about that spiritual kind of aspects of the massage as well.
So then I presume that's what you love most about massage, that it's probably not just body work.
Exactly. Yeah. It's, for me, like I said, it's a holistic, and what I've said at the beginning, the power of touch is just incredible. Yeah. Like I said, you could just be, stroking someone, as long as the intention in your hands, is what it should be, the power of touch will be there regardless.
Yeah, I agree with you. And like now I feel like I really want to go and do a lot of courses.
I thought you were
So
gonna say you feel like you're going for a massage now.
well, that as well. For a massage and then doing some courses. I really appreciate that you took the time for this little, let's call it an interview. And I very much hope so, and I'm sure that it's going to be useful for other therapists to listen to. And then
I
obviously, if
hope
they want
so
to go
too.
onto your courses, then they have the link in our recommended courses page. So yeah, thank you very much